Today's October 24th of 2012. I'm bringing you the Scorpio New Moon 2012. That'll occur on November 13th at 5:09 East Coast time here in the U.S. This is also going to be a total eclipse. I didn't put that here. Total eclipses are when the sun and moon are together in the sky. Total new moon eclipses, where the moon comes between us and the sun exactly. Total eclipses are the Great Awakening. They're the shake you to your boots energies that leave you more or leave you with a different understanding than you had before they came. With the eclipse being in Scorpio and being total, the opportunity here now is to, one, we want to shed the ego, but two, it's about transformation. Everything and anything is at play here. This is going to be a powerful, powerful, powerful eclipse. Scorpio rules the 8th house of death and rebirth in astrology. When we have the new moon total eclipse here, it's exactly what we're going to be experiencing. The ugliest society has to offer, the most extreme, the most unimaginable can occur here, as well as the biggest miracle, the greatest or most unbelievable revelation will happen here. You've got to be ready for both. This is going to be a total eclipse at its extreme points, and you're going to have to just be ready for everything. This is going to happen at 21 degrees. You'll see the sun and moon are together. So find 21 degrees of Scorpio in your chart. Scorpio looks like an M with the tail sticking up. Think of the scorpion tail sticking up. Find where 21 degrees is, and then find which house that falls in your natal chart. And this is where a lot of what has happened is going to show up in your chart. This particular eclipse, it will be extremely powerful because this is our ability to finally manifest. As you know, I've been talking about Pluto being in Capricorn and Saturn coming into Scorpio. Saturn's here, Pluto's here. Saturn actually is a unique point. It's at a unique time as it's coming into Scorpio. You can go back 29 years ago, 83, 84, 85. Last time Saturn was in Scorpio, and we talked about what went on then. I think sex really at its core came about. The AIDS virus came into play. Another type of event will happen in these next 2.5 years. I'm not saying it's AIDS, but there's something that's going to come to play here because Saturn coming in here, Pluto rules pornography, sexuality. And so you watch as Saturn comes here. There's going to be a lot of revelations here. And just digging deep. What we want to do as Saturn goes into Scorpio is to dig deep. Figure things out. Find things from a perspective that makes us understand things to a deeper level. So we're going to be doing that for the next 2.5 years. But my point was Saturn rules Capricorn, and Pluto in Capricorn rules Scorpio. So these two planets are in each other's sign. I'm going to talk a lot about that in the next video. But Saturn is lessons, delays, understanding, the keeper of time, the physical plane. Pluto rules the soul, the hidden, what has been going on but hasn't kind of been understood. So as you can see, I'll talk a lot about it later, but as you can see, we're digging in and figuring out what's been going on and putting it together here on the physical plane. That's all going on. Add that to this eclipse here at 21 degrees of Scorpio, and as you can see, you're going to really come to some understandings of just really what's been happening. I'm not saying I'm already there, but because astrology entered my life in 2001, there's a lot of things out there that you would not believe that have been done by design that were purposely done to make your life a little more restrictive or a little more difficult, only to help you teach and learn this lesson at the core that you're going to figure out now. So everything happens for a reason. There's no victims here. Society was created and it evolved to this. Now we got to take it to the next level. This eclipse is going to help us do just that. So find 21 degrees Scorpio in your chart and get after by manifesting, put out in the universe the things that you're noticing and what it's making you feel deep inside. This is going to be extremely intense and it's going to be extremely powerful in what happens energetically. Now we'll be just after the elections. I think the elections, because retrograde Mercury will still be going on. So I think just after the elections, what we're going to see here is the elections will still be a big problem for people. And this is still going to be we'll still be dealing with that here. So don't kid yourself. The elections won't end as retrograde Mercury happens on the elections. On the election day, it turns retrograde. There's going to be a lot of problems, and they're going to linger into this. So let's see what happens at this point after the election. Also, there's going to be some heavy squares between Neptune, Mercury. Neptune's going to be square here. You see it's at 0 degrees Pisces, and it's going to be square exactly. Mercury, it's going to be square exactly, not exactly, but it'll be square, and it's a weak square to the new moon. Neptune rules confusion. It rules your ability to tap into all your faculties. And the reason we throw confusion in there is because when you tap into all your faculties, it's hard to sort things out and make sense. So watch for a lot of confusion here. I'm going to encourage you to stay the course. This square is you really understanding that it's not just your mind or what you've learned on the physical plane in this life, but it's what you feel. It's what you believe. It's what your gut tells you. And you're really going to have to sort it out here because these squares, it's really going to try to make you get to a point where you can't sort it out or don't see it. So watch this very carefully. I think this square is a huge potential for, I've been talking about war. We're in war. It's going on. They just don't report it. Things overseas that you notice the reporting's been lessened and lessened. That was because of the eclipse points that I talked about in the past that were in Gemini and Sagittarius, and now they've moved. This is a south node and a north node, and they moved into Scorpio and Taurus. As you've seen, we spent the last year and a half with this south node in Gemini, and Gemini rules communication, and that's why I said we're going to lose the internet. That's coming. Somebody asked a question. That's going to get restricted quickly. I would not be surprised if it's within 2 weeks of this day that the restriction of the internet comes up. And we see that. We still got Uranus square Pluto, which is warring. Uranus 4 degrees, Pluto 7 degrees. And we've also now got Mars coming up to this Pluto, and it's also squaring Uranus. So this is huge in conflicts, control, systems in place, as Capricorn, all these things to try to keep supposedly order, but what it does is it allows power to people if they misuse it, and it's been definitely misused for hundreds of years. So as now Mars comes in, this thing's going to ramp up, and you look and watch here, this war thing's going to come to our front door. I feel that pretty strongly as Pluto last was in Capricorn in the 1760s to 1777. So it's coming, and I think this Mars thing may trigger it. It's not a guarantee this early yet, but I think it may trigger it because when we get into January, and I'll talk about that later, but I think that's when we're really the masses are going to say, what are we doing? We got to get a plan together and let's get this going. So let's see what happens. I think one of the biggest things for you in leaving on this video is that I would encourage all of you to take this new moon and to transform. What do you know? What do you feel, believe? What do you understand? And what's this eclipse bringing to you? Open up to what this eclipse can show you. Will it be ugly? Yeah, Saturn's here. The lessons are coming. Venus is coming into Scorpio. We got a lot of Scorpion planets, and so this is where we have to deal with what we fear the most, what makes us crawl inside ourselves and hide. This is where we have to open up to that, address it, and make a better world by removing whatever limited us or caused us to be in fear to where we stopped or we didn't want to address or we didn't handle what we should have. So get ready because the potential here is going to be tremendous for evolution. It will be ugly and it will be beautiful. And I know it sounds like I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth, but once you break through something that's controlled or put you in fear or limited you, once you walk through that and get to the other side, life is so much different. There's such an awakening that happens. So I wish you the best. Email. This one will be absolute extreme in its energetic play here. So get ready. And here we go, because this is where it's all going to happen. Good luck, and I hope to hear from you.